In this country we have a criminal system that isn't so just, isn't so blind, and is not that fair. But hey, they do it for you. Now, let's go to the tough guys that are in prisons. They're so tough, they're in prison. And what I mean by that is they're in prison. Instead of being the tough guy and the bad guy, instead of taking a few out with them, they went. They went to prison. Does that tell you how tough they are? They're looking out for themselves, self-preservation. But they obviously don't believe much in God because, well, this is just flesh, this is just bone. Nothing. See, when God gives you a new body, it's a spiritual type body. Can never, I mean, the only entity in the whole world that can do anything to it is God. Satan can't touch it. See what I'm getting at? God is the only one. And obviously, for you to earn a body like that, you've done something right. You see, a lot of the tough guys that are in prison, they're just opportunists. The people that actually stand up to them, they run away. They're cowards. And that's the same thing what we've got here throughout the world. You got a bunch of cowards. See, deep down inside, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing is wrong. It's just like the police. They know what they're doing is wrong. And they still high-five each other and clap and cheer and a whole bunch of other things. But they don't care. They're in charge. They give you a lawful order. Fact of the matter is the only laws there are God's laws. God's laws. That's all. If you got problems with someone, you go talk to them about it. You don't be an asshole about it. You go to them humbly and ask if you can help them. Then they tell you to go F yourself, mind your own damn business. Well, you gotta know where you stand, don't you? It's like, well, it's not gonna be that easy. But at least you know where you stand. And maybe that person will have a change of heart. Come back and want to take you up on your offer. Might need a little time to think about it, get it digested, Let it run through the old brain cells. See, this world we have is Satan's playground. Worse than Sodom and Gomorrah or any of these other places in the Bible that talked about. It's worse than any of that. Worse than Noah's day. This is why we wouldn't listen. So judgment's going to be harsh. Going to be harsh. Because you didn't want to listen. Same applies for governments. They don't want to listen. So judgment is harsh. Everybody wants to posture and everybody wants to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Just knock your crap off. You know how many times I've had to walk in and say, hey, knock your shit off. And then they're like, what? And it's like, yeah, nobody talks to you that way. I understand that. But I will. Because it's a simple thing. You want something, we want something, we can work something out so we both get what we want, or at least part of what we want. And then we both benefit and we both prosper. See, China and places like that seem to think, they're just going to sit here and manufacture everything in the world and everybody else is going to love it and buy their stuff. And, well, sounds great and wonderful, doesn't it? For China. Problem is this. It don't work out so good for the rest of the country or the rest of the world. It's a simple thing. My philosophy on that's always been produce things, make things. Every country makes things. And if there's some left over at the end of the day, you sell it. Everybody in the country gets what they need. If there's leftover, you sell it to whoever wants to buy it. It's not too hard a concept. Some countries are better at making things than other countries. They might have the resources there. They might have the raw material there. There's a lot of variables there. They might make them a better at that manufacturing something than you. But when you get some arrogant son of a bitch that walks in and wants to say, I want it all. Well, sounds good, doesn't it? But you ain't what we need. You ain't what we want. You're just a troublemaker. And all you're looking out for yourself. I always thought it was funny, is especially more today than probably ever in the history of things. CEOs of corporations, 25, 30%, maybe more, whatever, than the average worker. Now it's obscene. Just obscene. People say, well, it's not capitalism. Well, I'll tell you what. You want to talk about trickle-down economics? Tell me how well that works. How about trickle-up? Tell me how well that works. Tell me about all your bullshit micro-analyzing and micromanaging and all your bullshit. You tell me how well it works. Look around you. You're looking at a system that's getting ready to just have run its course. Not just here, but throughout the world. Tell you how well that system worked, didn't it? Because it was corrupt. If they pass a law that says, listen, your least paid worker makes no less than half of what you make, or 40% of what you make, or 30%. The least amount, and then everybody goes from there. And they can say benefits you get. Health care, stock options, whole 9 yards. You would see a big change out there, wouldn't you? You could do that. You could take it as a percentage of what the most at what the highest paid person in the company is. Just a percentage. Then the company could actually figure out, we got to pay these guys this, 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 and go from there up to here to us. All right. So they could actually figure out a budget that works, that keeps the company strong, and fiscally the company will prosper, possibly, or at least just hold its own. But they don't want to do that, do they? They can't screw you bad enough then, can they? So, folks, just think about what I say. Like I said, there's no one person out there that's got all the answers. God does. God does. But as far as man, nah. See, God will run when He comes back. Jesus will be handed the reins, and you run her with an iron rod. That's right. You run this planet, this world with an iron rod. Well, law said this, you didn't do that, by God, you're going to get punished. Until you learn. And it probably won't take you very long to figure that one out. So, folks, I thought I'd throw my 2 cents in there like I normally do.